Right, we're on section 11.1, still working through angles. All right, so an angle is formed by two rays here that have the same endpoint here. And the two rays that form the angle are called the sides. And the common endpoint of the two rays that form that angle is called the vertex. Right, so these are the parts of the angle. And you can call this angle B. Sometimes we label it just by the vertex, or you can call it angle ABC. Or if you put some sort of marking on the inside of this angle, you can call it angle number, whatever that marking is. All right, so it looks like we have here actually three angles, but the two angles alpha and beta look like they're right next to each other or adjacent. So adjacent angles are two angles that have a common vertex and a common side, but they don't have any overlapping interiors there. All right, so this is a tool that we use to measure angles. It's a protractor, and you saw we have already used one of these this semester. A protractor. Notice you put one side of the angle along the bottom or 0 degree mark here of the protractor, and then where the other side hits the protractor, that's the measure of the angle. All right, 1 degree. This is the unit of measurement that one of the units of measurements that we use to measure angles are degrees. And we indicate the degree by this little circle. Because there are 360 degrees in a full revolution, 1 degree is 1/360th of a revolution. And that 360 degrees in a circle came from the Mayan calendar, where they had 360 days in a year. And now, suppose you want to measure something that's smaller than 1 degree. So we have units for those as well. 1 minute, which I'll denote that way, it almost looks like a foot. 1 minute is 1/60th of a degree, and 1 second is 1/60th of a minute. So let's do an example where we use these units of measure. All right, let's find the measure of angle BAC. So this angle right here, if we know that the measure of angle 1 is 47 degrees, 45 minutes, and the measure of angle 2 here is 29 degrees, 58 minutes. So in order to find this angle, let's call it 3, so I can be lazy here. I know that the measure of angle 3 should be what's left if I take the measure of angle 1 and subtract the measure of angle 2. All right. So let's go ahead and do that subtraction. 47 degrees, 45 minutes, and subtract 29 degrees, 58 minutes. All right, and we've seen something similar to this before, where I need to take 45 minutes and subtract 58 minutes. So I'm going to have to do some regrouping here. So why don't I take one of the degrees, so knock this down to 48 degrees, and give it here to the minutes. So now we have to remember how many minutes was in 1 degree. A minute was 1/60th of a degree. So that tells you that 60 minutes equals 1 degree, which should make sense. Also here, like 60 seconds equals 1 minute, right? So those are our conversions. So that tells me that if I take 1 degree and regroup it here and represent it as minutes, I'm going to add 60 minutes to the minutes column. So let's rewrite this subtraction problem. 47. I said knock it down, and I wrote an 8 there. It should be a 6. Knock it down to 6. Silly me. All right, so now I've got 46 degrees, and 60 plus 45 is 105 minutes. take away 29 degrees, 58 minutes. And so now we can do that subtraction after we have regrouped. All right, let's go ahead and do that. All right, I've got here 47 minutes that are left and 17 degrees. So the measure of angle 8, what do we call it? BAC? BAC equals 17 degrees, 47 minutes. All right, let's do another example with these degrees, minutes, seconds. I want to do a conversion where I express 47 degrees, 45 minutes, 36 seconds as a decimal number of degrees. All right, so let's go through the process one conversion at a time. Let's first go from minutes or from seconds to minutes, and then go from minutes to degrees. Right, so I have 36 seconds here. And how many minutes will that be? Well, each, if I have a group of 60, if I have a group of 60 seconds, that gives me 1 minute, right? So I can go ahead and multiply by 60 seconds to every 1 minute, and that will take me from seconds, which you see these unit markers here for seconds, will go away and leave me with minutes. So 36 divided by 60 gives me 0.6. So it gives me 0.6, and now I'm left with minutes. So now the total number of minutes I have, so now we have 47 degrees. And how many minutes do I have? I had 45 minutes. Now I have 0.6 more minutes. So I have 45.6 minutes. Now I'm going to convert from minutes. So this was going from seconds to minutes. From seconds to minutes. Now this is what I have. And I'm going to go from minutes to degrees. So I've got 45.6 minutes. And I'm going to multiply by the conversion factor that'll go from minutes to degrees. And let's remember that there are 60 minutes for every 1 degree. So I'll multiply by 1 over 60. So I'll take 45.6 divided by 60, which gives me 0.76. All right, and again, this was our conversion going from minutes to degrees. So now, altogether, this will be 47 degrees plus this fractional number of degrees, so 47.76 degrees. All right, so these are working with these new types of measurements. Now let's talk about different types of angles that we'll see that we get used to. If you have an angle that is in between 0 and 90 degrees, so greater than 0, less than 90, we call that type of an angle an acute angle. It's small, it's acute. An angle that is exactly equal to 90 degrees is called a right angle. An angle that's larger than 90 but still less than 180, you call that obtuse. And an angle that is exactly 180 degrees, you call that a straight angle. And the next angle we actually probably won't see very much in our class, but if you have an angle that is bigger than 180 degrees, less than 360, we call this one a reflex angle. We won't see this one very much though. These will be the important ones for us.